Welcome back, everybody, to WTF Wednesday here at Hold My Dual Shock. It's been a day. I feel exhausted. We still have tons of packing to do to get ready for this weekend and a super long drive. So I'm excited that we get to hang out with you guys before we do all of that.
Last stream of the week.
Which feels weird to say that. Yeah.
Last Maybe stream ever of the week. If the world collapses on this trip, like in apocalyptic movies, there's always the people that are on a road trip and they're like, oh yeah, we'll be back, and then they just never come back. That could be us.
Andy just predicting the worst. Yeah. Terrace, last stream forever. Like this if you cry every time. Oh my gosh. So let's jump in because there's lots of stuff to talk about. Obviously, the Dune Messiah trailer released, which Ronnie wanted to talk about yesterday. We touched on because Nadia said absurd things, and we must get into it today because there's so many moving pieces. There's so many moving pieces. There's so much controversy going on because there's people who love it, people who hate it, people who've made predictions about what does it mean.
Yeah, the predictions are really cool. I think that regardless, it'll be fun talking about for the next 8 months. Fuck.
Yes.
It comes out near Christmas.
So yeah, 8 months, yes. And then
it feels wrong that a movie set in a desert
doesn't come out in summer. Yeah,
that should come out in August. You should feel the heat
going in and out of the theater. Yeah. Yes, you won't, but you should. And then separate from that, Brand New Day released their trailer. There's other stuff going on with that we gotta discuss, and yeah, the usual stuff. But let's start with Lieutenant Garatina, member for 19 months. Thank you so much. Says, good evening, Katie and Andy. The Dune 3 and Spiderman 4 trailers have dropped, and so far, Brand New Day looks better than Messiah. # Enter the Scorpion. So, can't agree or disagree because I haven't actually watched the Brand New Day trailer yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we'll get into it if our internet allows us, because when I was setting stuff up, it was acting weird. So I'm telling you now. Forewarning you, okay? What's up, Ronnie? Remember to smash the like button, you guys. Please and thank you. Let more people know we're live. And if you haven't, hit the subscribe notification bell so you don't miss a single awesome stream. And thank you for joining us.
What if they want to miss the bad ones?
Yeah, all right. We can't pick and choose people, okay? You get them all. Justin Patton said, have a blessed stream. Spider-Man looks iffy to me. Need to see another trailer. Dune 3, the opera. Have fun tonight. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think that's hilarious too, because I've also been seeing people after watching the Dune 3 trailer say, fuck the opera and the ballet. Just causing controversy for no reason. And then Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, I've heard people say because they waited so long to finally release the trailer, they expected it to be more epic than it actually was.
I feel like they spent a long time building this up with all those little behind the scene things.
Bro, all those 1 or 2 second clips, which I think a lot of people found very annoying.
I actually thought the trailer looked fine. I will say one of the scenes that we saw them lead up to, actually seeing the trailer, I thought it looked lame as shit.
So,
but it was just one scene. It reminded me. When we look at it, I'll tell you to pause or I'll point it out. It reminds me of that Godzilla scene where he's flying 2-foot tackling.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes, please point that out.
Yeah.
Darstud for our weekly WTF says, here at HMDS, we get the privilege of learning career advice from the best in the business. And when he's not around, we at least get to hear from Andy. So stick around WTF Wednesdays and you'll find out that on your next business trip, the correct alpha move when the team asks where to eat is to say whichever TGI Fridays is nearby.
It's very true. If you think that you're going to be a Sigma, borderline alpha male, podcast bro, crushing it 25/7, because 24/7 is for those limp dick pussies out there who don't know how to, alpha prioritize their grind set.
Yeah.
And you're not getting the jalapeno poppers from TGI Fridays, dude.
What are you doing?
That's the fuel that the Alpha Bro runs on. That's in lean buffalo meat. That was a test to see who bit. Yeah.
BP. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. Don't remember, it's WTF Wednesday. What's up? Tennis. Hola, hola. What is up?
What's up, Terrace?
Also got Draconis in the chat. Happy you enjoyed the intro music. Yeah, Terrace said get Nadia. Get Nadia on the line. Bro, I don't know what Nadia is talking about. I'm assuming it's just not her movie, which that's the other thing. I completely understand if like sci-fi and that type of thing is not your thing. Because I know Nadia likes horror movies and horror movies are not my thing. But to say it's boring, what?
I think this is actually going to be a very controversial film. I think it's going to amplify the criticism I had of the last one as an adaptation, while I said I very much enjoyed it as a film.
Terrace, I think Robert Pattinson and Timothy get it on. No. No. Oh my gosh. And yes, but well, we can touch on it, but it's for very different reasons. What's up, General Kenobi? He says, hello there, Doolies. I was doing war criminal activities in a game. What did I miss? Nothing so far. No, we're just getting started. What's up, Tish? Next thing you know, you'll be suggesting they release horror movies in October. What? How dare we?
But we know from last year with Red One that October is when Christmas movies come out.
Yeah. Ninja kind of says, is opera supposed to be bad?
Opera's
great.
All,
yeah.
Some of it's actually quite amazing.
Terry said the Spider-Man trailer was just okay. See, well, we shall see. Filmgoer says they couldn't have found a dumber way to market that, worse than the Doomsday chairs, in my opinion. Oh, the 2-second clips of the Spider-Man thing? Yeah. Yes, I think that's stupid as well.
I actually think they should have learned as well, like, when they tried to do it with the Mission Impossible films, there's a huge diminishing return of if we've seen before we've even seen the film, if you've shown us how they've pulled off the stunt.
Yeah, you will ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sci-Fax, what's up? He says, when are you guys getting to MegCon? Thursday night.
If everything goes well. We'll have a whole
sometime Thursday.
Yeah. Depends on how many breaks we need.
Yeah, how many stops do we make is all going to be dependent on it, but sometime Thursday. Warhabit says at least they finally got the costume right. Agreed. So there's stuff to look forward to. What's up, Lace Flow? Welcome.
What's up, Zach? How you doing, bro?
A film goer says horror versus sci-fi, the ultimate debate. That's not the ultimate debate.
But then you realize you can watch Event Horizon and you don't have to choose.
Yeah, you get both. What's up, Zax? Terrace is being foolish. And yeah, Junko literally said, what about horror sci-fi together?
Yeah.
Yeah. You get Event Horizon, people. I think I'm all caught up.
Awesome. Do you want to open the chat because we've had so many problems?
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, give Katie a second. We're all counting.
Really?
I don't think it's going to be a second.
No, it's going to be much longer than that. That's what it's like. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?
Because you're slow.
In the process of doing that, I can share this, though. Because I thought this was hilarious. That Elijah Wood is going to be DJing a Lord of the Rings Middle-earth themed rave in Denver. I'm like, on May 31st.
Denver's a weird. I don't think somebody in the chat's gonna be like, I'm from Denver and we're a huge Lord of the Rings community. But I don't think of Denver
as like, being like the Mecca of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. It's odd, right?
Out of all the places, I guess.
I'm trying to think like what American city most exemplifies Lord of the Rings. And it's definitely I don't think it's anywhere in mountain time, you know. Yeah, people in Denver, show yourselves, prove that you're real. I think it's funny because the whole rave thing reminds me of all those memes and all the AI memes of Gandalf, where it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was delayed, and it shows him at like a nightclub, usually with the hobbits.
Yep. Yeah. Having fun. So I thought this was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm like, one, I think it's weird, but also very cool that everyone and their mom is a fucking DJ. So do you think he like practiced to get prepared for this?
I don't know. Filmgirl says, yeah, good point. I don't recall them making a big deal in Ghost Protocol when Tom Cruise was climbing the building. But since Rogue Nation, they've made a big deal out of it since. Yeah, like you always got a little bit, but it almost felt like it shifted into like an exposition of like, look at the next crazy stunt. And I kind of think like maybe you should have waited till after. Like that could have been something cool that you show in
Later?
the credits, like while the credits are rolling.
Are you
like
talking about Brand New Day?
No, I'm talking about in all of the Mission Impossible films.
Oh,
like,
yes.
You know how we don't get bloopers anymore? If they actually showed, like, just as the credits are rolling, side by side screen showing how they did the stunts.
I agree with that. Yes.
Kind of like they used to do with like Jackie Chan films.
Yes. Mando and Chain, what's up? So I'm just thankful Spider-Man doesn't look awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, there's a very big difference between YouTube having a problem and us having a problem. YouTube's having problems. If you've actually gone to the channel, you'll notice some of our videos were posted a mere 57 years ago because of whatever weird back-end problem that YouTube's having.
Yes. VP says Lord of the Rings rave. VP, if you weren't aware, they do themed raves now. So there's a lot of raves that are actually themed with anime themes. And which is actually very, very cool. But yeah. And then what was it for? Oh, what anime was it that they're gonna do like a whole musical set that's like a company and they show like the anime on the screen?
Berserk.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. But yes, it's an actual like thing. So they do anime themed raves where they take the songs from the anime and turn it into like.
It would be funny if it
was
Berserk.
Music. It would be dope if it was Berserk.
It wouldn't be dope. Like nobody wants to dance to the subject matter of Berserk.
I meant the music, homeboy. No one said the subject matter. Terry said Gandalf going to be hitting that pipe.
The pipe.
Yes. Chris, is this for real? Yes, that's for real.
Gandalf, one of them pipe hitting wizards, you know?
Yes, they have raves that are themed with like people love like, oh my God, I'll have to find clips for like the
I'm
next
going to start
stream.
calling crackheads pipe hitting wizards. Like, just in general, you know?
Pipe hitting wizards.
Especially when they're doing weird shit, when you see them like dancing on the side of the road. It's like, look at these pipe hitting wizards.
But yes, it's for real. Like, yes, there's legit raves they do based on anime, and now they're doing a whole one based on Lord of the Rings. It's gonna be dope.
Wouldn't it be funny? It's like, what you got in there, my man? Some of that long button leaf. He's like, nah, dog, this is crank. straight crank. I got that fent. Yeah.
Knick-knack, what's up? Thank you for the $10 super chat. She said, hail, Katie and Andy. Aw, snap. Y'all going to have to do a 10K celebration stream soon. We will. Appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
If and when we hit it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
God knows what could happen.
This is for you, Knick-knack.
Beauty I'd always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love
Thank you so much, Knick-knack. Okay, so Jaconis says, wow, okay. Yeah, Lord of the Rings fans come in all shapes and styles. Not mad at that. Yes. If you weren't aware, Lord of the Rings is one of the most well-known trilogies of all time that a wide group of people love.
So Bone Bridger got me on to Shrinking. So I've been watching Shrinking, and Gabby, the black chick friend, and I don't reduce her to black chick friend. I just think it's important for
clarification. Yes,
because she's a big Lord of the Rings fan. It comes up a lot.
Yeah, she calls it Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's how she says
just
it.
Like that.
Lord of the Rings. And I think it's a wonderful reminder that black people can like Lord of the Rings too. Like, yeah.
All people love Lord of the Rings is the point.
What I love is the show's not made one comment about Rings of Power. Like,
no,
I'll actually stop watching the show if she's like, hey, by the way, this other thing they've got going called Rings of Power, but they would never do it because Shrinking, like everything on Apple, has an advertisement. Quality? No, it's an advertisement for Apple.
Oh yeah, that too.
They'll be walking down the sidewalk and they'll be like, oh, I'd like to say things to people that they can't hear because they have their AirPods TM in. Yeah.
Yes.
That you can get at the Apple store,
This just made me so happy. Mordor type shit.
Mordor type shit.
In this too. Lord of the Ranks, what the VP, you gotta accept it. Just enjoy. Enjoy what you can. Lace Flow said I may leave the house for Project Hail Mary. We're actually going to go see that. We will be late because it technically comes out tomorrow and we'll be on the road, and we will not be going to the theater anytime during the time that we'll be in Florida. But
unless somebody wants to sneak into the theater with a phone, live stream, so that we can watch it on their live stream to put the final nail in the coffin.
We will not be doing that. Yes.
Can you imagine?
Georgia girl,
I'm
what's
joking.
up? Welcome. So today I learned, there's raves of all types, you guys. They're making them more diverse. Okay. Tish said a Berserk theme rave would go real bad, real fast.
It would.
Real bad, real fast.
A Berserk themed rally on the Excellence of Man, though.
That's completely different. Yeah. Dracona says 10K stream dress up suggestions have been made. Expectations are high. I would like to clarify. I understand expectations have been made. Okay. Suggestions have been entered. That does not mean they're going to come to fruition. Okay. Because some of them are a bit too far.
I think a great way to honor the recent Oscar win of Sinners would be for Katie to dress up as Ryan Coogler.
What?
Yeah.
What? No. What's
or
up,
Delroy
Tony?
Lindo.
What's up, Tony? What's up, Junkle? We're moving on and ignoring Andy's ridiculous points. Yeah. Tony said Attack on Titan's doing a worldwide tour where they have the official orchestra play a bunch of soundtracks from the anime and have the anime playing in the background. I'm assuming it was what I saw, because that was because Nadia had brought up and I was like, I don't get it. And she was like, they're gonna play the music and show the movie.
They do that for a ton of stuff.
Yes.
Like Hans Zimmer does that, where they'll have Interstellar play, but there's an actual orchestra. I mean, they've done this for a bunch of anime. A couple years ago, the local opera did a thing where they had all the music, like they paired out with the orchestra, and they had all the famous music. It was kind of like it was an ensemble or whatever. It was like multiple pieces.
Yeah.
But they had like the choir would sing the song from Full Metal Alchemist. It's really
cool. A whole thing. It's amazing. Nick Knack, $5. Thank you. Says that's stinking thinking, Andy. Positive. Always think positive.
I'm from Africa. Like
Andy's very negative, by the way.
Positive has a very downer follow through.
We're gonna think positive, but yes. We will be having our 10K stream very soon. We appreciate your suggestions. You can put them in on the Discord. That does not mean they will come to fruition, because the blackface is not happening. I'm telling you now. But this is for you.
Imagine if you wiped off and it turns out you've been in blackface. Or let's be honest, you're not that dark.
No.
Wouldn't it be funny if you're just like Jersey permatan and you've just like trash? Like actually her name's Katie Giuseppe or some Italian.
We're moving. Yeah. Literally
Ariana Grande type
shit. Yeah. Yes. Ariana Grande type shit.
And we're like, no, Katie's whiter than I am. Katie's just trash.
Thank you, Nick Knack.
Let me get it like wow. It's like right now. It's like wow. It's like right now. It's like wow. It's like right now. It's like wow. It's like right now. Oh wow. It's my life, your life. Live it once.
I've been informed that I need to apologize to the Jersey community for my harmful and devastating remarks. I'm told that it is not a tacky, grotesque parody of tanning, that it is an important part of their cultural identity.
Yes.
And so I'd like to apologize to all the viewers and
all the Jersey people.
Yeah.
Tony said that Dune 3 trailer was absolute cinema. Easily the best trailer of 2026 so far. Timothy was singing at the top of his lungs and nailing both opera and ballet. Yeah. Okay. Did you recognize that was him singing the song?
Which one?
For the trailer.
I did not.
Yeah, that was him.
Timothy Chalamet was singing.
Well, he was doing the the vocals on it. Yeah. Terry says, when Andy says someone, he means me. So join the Discord on Friday as I get arrested live at my local cinema.
Sir, put the phone down. Just screaming, I know my rights.
Oh my gosh. Tony says, no blackface. What are we even doing? We used to live in a society. Yeah. We will not be doing that.
It's not racial if it's out of admiration.
Dracona says, if any black people complain about Andy doing blackface, it's like, bro, I'm more African than all y'all combined. So,
dude, I just saw Raven Simone raging. And I don't know when the video is from, about how she's like, I'm not African American, I'm American. How many generations before we just call ourselves American? And she's like, it makes no sense because that should be reserved for people who are actually of like, and I agree, like African American should be if you're from Africa and you move to America. Everybody else, like you don't say German American.
Yeah, Tony said based Raven Simone.
I don't know if it's based or just logical on how language works. I think to claim any like slash, nationality, you have to have dual nationality.
Yeah.
Like
Terry said, I'm gonna be real. Finding out him singing kind of ruined it for me. Wish I didn't know that.
I didn't know either. And I immediately think less of
it. Yeah. Terry said, all right, people, for the millionth time, there are no commitments from anyone on the channel as to what we're doing for the 10K celebration. Feel free to post ideas in the Discord, though. 100%. And to Turner, he says, Katie, have you decided what you're doing for dress up? So, almost positive, Andy is not doing anything to dress up for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Almost positive.
I just realized that they meant Comic-Con and not the 10K stream.
Yes, for Comic-Con.
Yeah, I will not be dressing up.
Yeah.
I won't. I'm one of those rare Comic-Con goers who enjoys the media without feeling the need to participate. Unlike Katie, I don't feel the need to make it all about me in some desperate attempt to cause.
Wow.
Yeah.
Separate from that, someone, and I'm blanking on the name right now, made a wonderful suggestion from the game that you guys wanted us to play, but in the process of trying to become that character, I realized how expensive it is to dress up for some of these things. Because the demon chick from Dispatch, super cool costume. I thought it would be simple. It's not. It's like $150, and I'm not. It's not about that life.
Katie's not committing that much.
No, I'm not about that life. So
you're supposed to make it yourself. You're supposed to grab like toilet roll, tissues.
Yeah. Okay. So
like
there was plans to explain how to create the sword she has and go to Hobby Lobby and do such a thing. Yeah, I don't have the time. So
look at Katie. She's not crafty.
No, and not that, homie.
Katie,
we are very busy. Okay.
Katie aspires to be bougie, which she fails at. Katie fails at.
Yes, Malo.
Yeah.
Yes, that person. I was gonna try and do that, but to buy the horns and to buy the sword already created, too expensive. So won't be doing that. But I'll post pictures of what we end up doing.
VP says, I had planned to wearing a Fallout vault suit, but they're pricey too.
That's what I'm saying. Like all of these things.
Yeah.
Especially last minute, because I didn't plan ahead of time. Very expensive.
I feel like the Fallout vault suits, it's like you should, because you could wear them to multiple events because they're cool. I think you should go and actually get that made. It would probably be cheaper to get it actually. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, that also would have worked.
Yeah.
Too short notice.
But yeah. If you actually had like the Vault Tech suit made, it would be better quality and yeah, it would last longer.
In fact, didn't plan ahead of time is the running theme of this channel. Yes. We are very busy. We have full-time jobs and do graphic design and
every
projects.
Every time Katie says it, you sound like, again, when people say as a taxpayer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. As a taxpayer, Tony says, I told you, Andy, you look like a Con Air guy kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
You also could do that for very cheap.
Put the bunny down. Yeah. That's more like Dr. Phil.
Yes.
Which is not that different from, I guess you could say that Nicolas Cage is the Dr. Phil of that airplane. He helps everybody sort through their bullshit.
True. Let's get into the next topic because I was baffled at this revelation. So Val Kilmer has been resurrected by AI to star in As Deep as the Grave movie. And I don't know how to feel about this. So this is what it's going to look like. And that is AI generated.
Yep.
Are you guys excited? Yeah, Eugene. Boo! So he was 5 years prior to his death, agreed to be cast in this film. He was very passionate about it, and he's supposed to be a Catholic priest and a Native American spiritualist. But
I
obviously,
don't think you can be both of those things.
yeah. So obviously, because he was battling throat cancer, he was too sick to ever make it to set. But his daughter and his estate agreed that they would be okay with them using AI to create Val Kilmer to be in the film still.
When anybody says his estate, that means the people that were going to benefit financially
Yes.
said, hey, actually, I think Papa would love to be part of this Baskin Robbins campaign. I think that despite his long storied career in cinema, I think he was very interested in being the face of the 32nd flavor of Baskin Robbins.
No, like legit. It literally says, even though he didn't shoot a single scene, I'm not going to decimate that name, but that's the director, has been able to realize his vision of having Kilmer in the ensemble by using state-of-the-art generative AI. And he's done it with the cooperation of the late actor's estate and his daughter, Mercedes.
I think the way they handled his passing in Top Gun Maverick was like the most tasteful way you can do it. They wrote into it, they honored the man, they have him come back, but he's clearly on his way out. He's clearly dying.
He's not at his best.
No, but like they wrote it in, like
Yeah.
they made it so they didn't do some weird thing where they try to pretend like it was all fine. And they made the judgment call. Do we want to have him in the script? Yes. So we need to just take this is, by the way, one of the biggest annoyances I have in film criticism when somebody's like, could have shaved 10 minutes off. Like, you know,
Could have shaved 10 minutes off.
When the end goal is like, how tight can we package it? It's like, yeah, but dude, there's a lot of wonderful moments in cinema that are completely unnecessary, but they're wonderful. And I thought the reunion between Maverick and Iceman was a beautiful moment in cinema.
Even this part kind of sounds like bullshit. His family kept saying how important they thought the movie was and that Val really wanted to be a part of this. He really thought it was an important story that he wanted his name on. It was that support that gave me the confidence to say, okay, let's do this. Despite the fact some people might call it controversial, this is what Val wanted.
This is where I honestly don't.
Bullshit.
I don't have a strong opinion other than like a strong sense of doubt.
Yeah.
And I hate to use like the whole slippery slope argument, but where does it end? Okay, so can your estate come back years later and say, actually,
yes.
He would have really loved to be part of, Maverick 3, Top Gun 3, or actually, I heard that you guys are doing Heat 2
or Tombstone
or Tombstones
reboot, and he'd really love to be a part of it.
The thing is that an actor dying has always been part of the industry. It's led to recastings, it's led to other opportunities. I feel about the AI like amalgamations of these actors. One, and how do you pick, by the way? How do you pick what? Like, so that's not him at the very end. Like, that's not, I mean,
oh yeah,
the guy was dying from throat cancer. He rightfully looked awful.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So you've de-aged him and you make him look healthier. So when is that? Is that 10 years ago? Which
Val are we
why
getting?
not get him young? Yeah, Val? None of it's real. None of it is
and I do agree with a lot of the comments that are being made, because Tara says to translate, someone waved a huge bag of cash in front of them.
Yeah.
And he said, I think it's absolutely disgusting to sell the rights of your parents after they've passed away for anything less than 6 figures. For anything less than 6 figures.
It's grotesque, but when you add the 6th zero, it becomes
really,
art.
Yeah.
And we know this because I know that I felt very uncomfortable when people wanted to use my dead relative's identity for an ad campaign. But when they added the right number of zeros,
I realized
this is a beautiful way to honor them. And when the project is this important,
how could I say no?
How could I let my discomfort at this ghoulish use of their identity stop art from? We don't want to stop art.
Yeah, he said, I said 7 figures, have some class. Yeah.
When you're talking in the hundreds of thousands, it's disgusting. When you're talking the tens of millions, we're talking about a beautiful tribute.
Yes. Yeah. You got to think about your financial bag.
The thing is, if you...
Oh my God, yes. Laso said it feels like a test run. Hope it flops. Yes, because I think what's crazy is going to be the number of people who don't know that this is AI who watch it and actually.
Oh, that's gonna be the best part of this is.
Yes.
By the way, very hard to take Hollywood serious about them standing against AI when they allow this to happen. Like where. And look, I'm not here to litigate on behalf of Hollywood. Dude, I feel like they're making their own bed. But when you have people that think that this is such a black and white issue, and I see them in the comments, and want to take the side of, oh, no, I stand with the artist, yet the people making the art are okay not bringing in new artists. They're like, can we digitally recreate the dead guy? And yeah, people talk about Paul Walker. That was done using his brother. There have been ways. Look, dude, Oliver Reed died during the filming of Gladiator. They had to, kind of jerry-rig things. I don't know if we're allowed to say jerry-rig. They jerry-rig things in order to make it work. But this is the step beyond where they're using all the excuses of the past to justify a fully digital copy of somebody who never stepped foot on set.
Never. Yeah. It's not like they started like the whole situation with
So by the way, it's not even like from what I understand, it's not even like he knew he was going to die and gave his voice recording.
No.
It's all synthetic.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like Heath Ledger, who was in the process of creating a film, and then they're like, how do we figure, like,
with the
finish
Imaginarium
this?
of Dr. Parnassus, where they...
No. He never set foot on set. They could have recast him as somebody else.
Yeah, and then VP says, have him play a ghost, then it wouldn't be that bad. That's still
bad.
Well, that was the thing with Harold Ramis. And I think Harold Ramis coming back for... the Ghostbusters reboot was
tasteless.
It was as close to tasteful as possible, considering it is. I mean, he literally comes back as a ghoul. It was literally ghoulish, But they didn't. In Afterlife, it was a moment. It was a passing the torch. But do they bring him back and just start running it back? No. But very hard to take Hollywood seriously when they're saying that AI is this existential threat and we need to shut down all these AI artists. Because see, what they've done is they've moved it to, we've never had a problem with the AI art. We just want to be the ones making the money from it.
We want to be the only ones who are the arbitrators of it. Yes.
And so how is this different than the whole Tilly Norwood thing?
It's not.
They'll say, oh, because Val Kilmer was a real person. Bro, I think that makes it worse. I honestly, the Tilly Norwood shit is like Pixar crap. You're like, we all know, but dude.
But I'm supposed to pretend like,
we've talked about, like, there are certain archetypes, there's certain looks in Hollywood that you're like, how do you replace this thing? And so I recently said, who kind of has a lot of that Val Kilmer charisma is Austin Butler. Bro, we don't need Austin Butler. We can have Val Kilmer forever.
But that's the other thing. Imagine how many people are going to be fooled into thinking this is actually Val Kilmer, who don't know it's AI.
Or don't care. That's the thing.
This is
what we talked about in our video about AI. And again, every day I feel validated because people will say, no, I stand with the artist. Dude, the artists aren't saying no.
Yeah, the family isn't saying no.
I mean, the other actors who should say, I love Val.
Yeah, but no.
But I don't want to act into the void and then have you digitally add Val Kilmer. And other younger actors, looking for opportunities. Like we talked about how many actors are having to go work at hospitals and stuff as actors in hospital ads because there aren't enough jobs going around. Well, dude, Val had his time. He made a huge impact on cinema, but it's done.
Yeah.
It's somebody else's time and they don't.
And they're not passing the torch. Yeah, they're not giving them the opportunity. They're like, no, we'll take the people that we really want to be a part of the role who aren't available anymore and just AI generate them.
How long before somebody's like, man, I want a romantic film, like a sweeping epic, something like Legends of the Fall. But God, unfortunately, Brad's not that young anymore. Or we could just
digitally digitally do it.
Yeah. And Brad says it's fine. So we'll just do that. And then when Brad passes away,
we'll just keep doing
it. Yeah. And that, I think, is actually the thing that's going to be why this is the last generation of actors. Not because a bunch of people online on TikTok are making hilarious videos of P.
He
Diddy
does
and
not say that
Epstein,
sarcastically. He thinks
Yeah.
they're hilarious.
like drag racing, talking about family and what it means to like.
And being in
That's
Tel
not what's
Aviv,
going. Yeah, that's
oh.
not what's going to kill cinema. It's going to be the estates of past, dead actors,
Who just
and
keep
Hollywood
curium.
just rinsing and repeating
Yeah, Turner.
the
Yeah.
things that they know. Because, by the way, what they're doing is they're making it the most corporate thing possible. Corporations don't like risk. Every new actor introduces a new cycle of risk. You know who has zero risk? The people that have been making you billions of dollars for the past 30 years.
Nick Knack, thank you for the $5 super chat. She said, "Oh, so Andy has a price, huh?"
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Let's see.
Play a fun one.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. This is for you.
The kicks even are thinner.
Thank you so much, Nick Knack. And yeah, Georgia Girl makes a great point. She said, I mean, they already heavily de-age their actors. It just seems like the next natural step for Hollywood is just to generate them by AI.
I agree. I think that it's a big part, and we're going to talk about how manufactured and how much of a lie Hollywood discourse is in a little bit, because there's some pretty interesting stories with the whole Rebel Wilson stuff. I think that one of the best marketing tools, one of the best PR spins that has come out of Hollywood is they ignore that it's always been this compromise between art and commerce, and they sell themselves as artists while doing committing every sin of every corporation and big business.
100%.
Yeah, can't wait for the new Cary Grant film. Agreed.
All right. So let's get into some of the Dune Messiah.
By the way, what about the
Controversy.
poor casting directors? They'll just be gone.
Yeah, they'll be a no longer at the job.
Where's the casting directors union being like, this is fucked? Because now they used to say, find me a Cary Grant type. Now they just go to the VFX department and
Be like,
and
make me Cary Grant.
just bring back Cary Grant.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be so. I'm sorry. It's gonna be tasteless. By the way, it's going to be. Cary Grant's great grandchildren say, "Oh, I remember Grandpapa. I remember the stories of Grandpapa saying he loved making films, and look." He never said he loved making films in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. He just loved making films. So I think that is the same as him saying, yes, he would like to be making You, Me, and Dupree 2 in 2025 or in 2023. I don't know. In the future.
What?
In the future.
2030.
I lost track of time.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about, Andy? Okay. So this is the definition, by the way, of like clickbait, because
This is clickbait done well.
yeah, this is Jason Momoa as Hate in Dune 3. And this person said, really disappointing to see something like Dune fall into comic book slop tropes, like bringing back characters from the dead. Now, if you've never read the book, yeah, I guess you could. This is such an ignorant take that, come on.
By the way, after some of the theories and some of the we will be talking
Yes, a film
openly
goer.
about book stuff, like Dune book
Lore.
and storylines.
If you haven't known already, I
Yeah.
assume you figured out.
because
Like,
you've
you've had
40 something years to read the books, and if you haven't, and also we are so far deviated from the books, I don't think it matters anymore.
yeah,
Um,
but a film goer,
but
yes,
that's
he's
your
a
one and only
clone.
warning. Yeah, he's a clone.
He's not even the same character. Yeah, and this dude's either rage bait, like it has to be rage bait.
So I initially thought it's rage bait too, but we talked about this the other day that there is an entire economy of people who know full and well that they're incorrect, but they say it because
They know don't rage other people.
no, that I think they can't help themselves. Like there's this weird cross pollination where we always talk about this. Like, if you were to make a film like The Fifth Element, it's got a badass chick who's literally the strongest character in the entire movie, right?
Yeah.
I think that we're not that far away from seeing people take the complaint about the girl boss trope and have it be like they're not even able to enjoy previous work because that brain pollution.
Yes. And yes, Tish, cut him some slack. It's not like the Duncan clones are one of the central points of the whole series.
I love in the later books, I mean, you could make the argument that Duncan's the main character.
Yeah. And yes, VP, that's the other thing. I don't think spoilers applies to anything related to Dune 3 because we're so far removed from that even being a possibility that the conversation we're going to have are things that more than likely they're not even going to be able to do.
Yeah.
Or that VP film car, which is even more absurd. But yeah. Okay, you want to get into the trailer?
Sure. And then we'll talk about some of the theories for the trailer.
If we have a girl, what will we name her?
Her name should be Ganima. She'll need to be strong, like her mother. What if it's a boy?
I would name him Leto. So he would have the wisdom of his grandfather.
War feeds on itself.
That's just weird.
The more I fight, the more our enemies fight back. I'm doing the best I can to protect my family. How did Father do it?
Your father never started a war.
I'm not afraid to die. But I must not die. Yet.
Initial
Okay.
thoughts.
So, initial thoughts. The trailer's epic. If you separate yourself from knowing what's supposed to be going on, Denis Villeneuve is an amazing director, and he's able to create a world that's clearly separate from our real world. So, like, that looks phenomenal. It looks like a completely different place and a completely different world. But I think the issue, just like we were talking about earlier, because there's people making connections between this trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And will it be able to become as epic and as memorable as Lord of the Rings? And Lord of the Rings for me is probably completely different for the people who read the books, because I know they have their own issues and they wish certain characters were included that aren't included and all those types of things. Dune, I have read. So I look at this trilogy as a complete separation from that, because I know it's nothing like that. Especially because for everyone who's talking about the fact that people are either upset or happy that they're seeing Chani or Zendaya's character more, she is clearly not anything like the character that she's supposed to be. And that's my biggest issue.
Yeah. I see a lot of people saying they really enjoyed the trailer. I see, yeah, Dracona says Denny is one of the few active directors who stays on my radar. I mean, the trailer as a trailer looks great. I think, I mean, it looks so immersive.
Yeah.
And regardless of how you feel about the books and the lack of accuracy to the books, as its own thing, I actually think Dune is the weirdest thing to adapt because the miniseries has been the closest to the books in adaptation. Obviously, Lynch's stuff was, I mean, that was just his own fucking thing. And
Yeah.
Denny essentially has made his own thing. I think these should be like called loosely inspired by,
Dune.
Frank Herbert's work.
Yeah. Based on, that's a joke.
But we're gonna get nerdy in this. This is probably gonna be off-putting to some people, but we're gonna get into some of the theories on this, some of the things that we saw in the trailer. I don't know if you want to we can go scenes in the trailer. Maybe we'll make this easier. But and don't play it because it'll just do nothing. But and only on scenes that matter. But you can just leave it up. So one of the things that who'd you say that you heard? Was it
Elaine. So from Nerd Cookies. So she was saying from the trailer, what she's getting is that the timeline, there's clearly 3 timelines because Denny has already explained that
she's been saying that for months when it first came out, that obviously his children will be fully grown.
Yeah, because there's going to be a 17-year time jump. That the fact that Momoa's son got cast as Leto, they're clearly going to show the children as adults. And because the boy's 17. So this is one of the time frames that if they show this is going to be clearly before, I guess, Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
So before they actually had the whole war start and him take over to be the emperor. So she's already pregnant when she's at the end of the movie.
So the best case scenario would be he tracks her down and they reconcile.
Elaine Nerd Cookies does not think
I think she's right,
happen.
though. I think that. So there's multiple reasons why I think she's right. One, I think because of the state of Hollywood, I think they're very uncomfortable showing Chani as a mother. And so I think that they wanted to turn her more into this warrior princess type character. And I think
she's going to be a badass in the desert waging her own war.
I also want to point out that this film kind of confirms my criticism of the narrative from the first film, that they were using Chani not as a window into the myth, the false myth of Paul Atreides, because we know that that argument never held weight because Paul repeatedly says the prophecy's not real.
Yeah.
But it was, I think, clearly because Chani's actual character, and this is a book spoiler, I doubt that this is how it's going to play out in the movie. She is complicit. She stands by Paul. She's very loyal to Paul. She's the most loyal. She gives birth. Her first child is killed in Dune. And by the time Dune Messiah comes along, she's pregnant with his twins. She immediately makes peace with the fact that she is his concubine. But there's a great line where Jessica says that history will call us wives. So it's just the Dune universe. That's just how things work. Now, Chani is central in Paul's fretting for the entirety of the book because he is not just omnipresent, or omniscient. He is tied to the future. He can't change it. And so he can see the future, but he can't do a whole lot to change it. And that's why he deals with this back and forth turmoil about the golden path. And he knows what is necessary what's necessary to be done because humanity is coming to a cliff. And if he does not push them over it in a controlled way, it will be the ruin of humanity throughout the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the heart to do it. That is compounded by the fact that he sees that the path he needs to take will lead to Chani's death. That is why they bring Jason Momoa back. He is a clone. Now, this is what makes Dune so phenomenal. You see the plots within plots. They bring back Duncan Idaho first as a Gola, which is what they call a clone, but they say he does not have any of the memories of Duncan Idaho. And he's also got these
Weird
robotic
eyes.
eye things that, signify that he's not Duncan Idaho. Throughout the story, Paul wrestles with, is Duncan in there? They do this knowing that they can manipulate Paul by making Paul think that Duncan's still in there.
John said,
Yeah.
well, Andy, you're spilling too much.
Yeah. Well, we've already said
We
that
already
we
said
don't think it's going to be there. With that, everybody knows everybody's fucking plot. Paul knows that they're trying to send hate to assassinate him. They know that Paul knows that they're sending hate to assassinate him. But the real plan is they know that hate will fail to assassinate him because they have cracked the code of essentially cloning immortality, where the piece of the soul, the genetic memories, is in Duncan, Idaho.
Filker said, me
Yeah.
listening to this.
And
You guys, I don't think,
yeah,
and that's
none
what-
of this is going to happen.
I don't
I'm
think
near
most
certain
of
none
this
of this
stuff is going to
happen.
matter.
And we need to talk about it, because without this reference point, you won't understand why people
Are
who
so
are
upset.
disappointed by this trailer.
Yeah.
Even though the trailer itself, as a trailer, I think looks amazing.
And to John's point,
Yeah.
he said, no, say no to moms, even though we greatly need them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to have her be a mom.
Yeah, and John says if you read the books, it's actually very well written. That's the mastery of Dune. Is all this sounds like absolute fucking gobbledygook, but when you read the books, it's phenomenal, and you see the inner workings of each other's minds, because Dune is first and foremost a battle of wills. So the entire story of Dune Messiah culminates with Chani dies giving birth to the twins, and the deal is made. We will bring back Chani because you see that we've brought back Duncan, and it is Duncan, but you are under our thumb now. To which Paul says no, and they kill the messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Chani stays dead, and the Fremen go on their path, and Paul walks off into the desert. Okay. But a big part of that is Paul, who has been recently blinded, uses the children being able to see their sight in the future to kill the assailant. If this movie does not reconcile Chani and Paul, if she is already pregnant, it does really ask questions. How the hell do you,
If she's
have that
already pregnant,
storyline?
how do you, like if she's already pregnant, I don't think they're going to have her actually die when she has the kids, because I don't see that happening with the fact that they clearly show her being
Yeah.
like a battle worn
yeah,
person, which I'll have to find it if I even
it'd
can.
be easier if you scrolled instead of trying to.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, and then having Aaliyah actually be a part of the whole thing, that grown up.
By the way, there's so many misinterpretations of Dune because it's a complex book that people want to break down into something simple. You'll hear a lot of people say that Paul is an anti-hero. He's literally not an anti-hero. You'll hear people say Paul is a villain. He's not an outright villain. The Dune universe doesn't deal with that idea of outright villainy, but it does deal with what happens when people glorify their leaders and mistake the ambition of their leaders, the plans of their leaders, for their own self-interest. Dune Messiah is the course correction from Frank Herbert for people who are misinterpreting the cautionary tale metaphor. Because what it does is it shows that Paul is a Fremen. He chooses to exile himself because he has become a Fremen. He does respect them.
We stop kicking things. Yeah, George said at the end of Dune Part 2, I was thinking the only reason she returned from the desert is because she's already pregnant. But I think Nerd Cookies is right. I don't think they're gonna get back together at all. I think with her fighting like this and looking like this, if she's already pregnant, I think they're gonna make her somehow be some type of warrior who still doesn't agree with the stuff that he's doing.
Yeah. Rusty says, made it to Orlando. See you soon. I'll see you in like 2 days' time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Happy you're there. Happy you're safe. Hope your mom's doing all right.
Georgia Girl says, the books feel beyond Paul. I feel prophecy is the ghoul heavily peeping over his shoulder, which is why God Emperor feels like a great ending to me. Exactly. Which is my main concern. Because if I want to play devil's advocate, you could make the argument that you could still have the whole Scytale plot line if it's a matter that's who's like, you know, kind
Robert
of central
Pattinson's-
to making this argument
Yeah.
of, you know, let us bring back Chani from the dead. It could be that Paul knows it, and because they're separated, maybe he wants to reconcile and that's what's haunting him. But what worries me is this 17-year jump, because when Denny said he wasn't interested in doing all the way to God Emperor, I always said, that's fine. I hope he doesn't wreck it for the next guy. Like, just leave it at the end of Dune Messiah with the twins being born and Paul going into there. So
But they're clearly not doing that if they have the adult
I have
children.
a terrible feeling that what's going to happen is that they're going to have Paul have visions of the golden path, him not do it, and it's going to be like a big giant wrap-up thing where you see this time jump and you see his son Leto the second putting on the sand trout and becoming the God Emperor. And I do not want that relegated to like the last 15 minutes or a vision in the middle of Dune Part 3. That would piss me off.
C. Stein, thank you so much. Says careful, Badger Stream got nuked for Spidey trailer, so I guess we won't be playing that.
Damn.
And John said, yeah, she only has chemistry with her husband, which I'm sure Tom loves. She's got chemistry with pretty much everyone. She just got terrible chemistry with everyone else. That movie with John Washington, which is the movie you were talking about, that was black and white. He said, yikes.
Yeah, John's absolutely right. That black and white, that was the guy who made Euphoria, by the way.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And I'm also wondering how the film with her and Robert Pattinson supposedly getting married is going to do, because there's supposed to be like this big reveal that she says, like, they're doing a couple thing where like they're talking about like what's the worst thing you've ever done, and the thing she actually says everyone is disturbed by, and it starts to like ruin their marriage.
So it's essentially never have I ever, and somebody
Somebody
didn't know to lie.
What Zendaya ends up saying is so awful. People are like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
So yeah, Terrace, I've seen people do the Spidey trailer, but skip forward several scenes of it to not get dinged.
We're probably just gonna skip and
I'll
show
just
stills
skip it.
because our internet's terrible anyways.
And Terrace says, not Terrace, Tony said, do you guys want more Dune films to happen after part 3? I certainly do. I do. I think, I don't know. Because I do agree with Tish. I think they're going to actively destroy God Emperor, because even Emperor.
You sound
I
like
know.
how Jenna from 30 Rock says
I know.
camera.
Camera. No, because Draconis even said he's like, he follows the lore loosely, but he's like, isn't Leto supposed to be the strongest? Yes.
Yeah, so Leto embraces the golden path, but also it's easier for Leto because Leto, like Aaliyah, who they bailed out and didn't show in the last film, is preborn. Both of the twins are preborn because they're this line of Quetzat Haderach, and they're ingesting so much spice that both of the twins inside Chani are like active. Like that's why when they're born, they're able to.
Basically, Lieutenant Garcia's God Emperor played by Robert Pattinson. No, Robert Pattinson's Skytail. He's the face dancer. Basically, if you haven't read the books,
go read the books.
You should read the books. But my point is, you will enjoy Dune because it's epically created, and Denny is able to create something that's enjoyable, regardless. Like if you don't understand the lore.
One of the best things, and we'll probably end up doing because there seems like, not that we care, we make plenty of videos that nobody watches. But I care enough about it. I really do want to discuss more like what we're losing with Dune being watered down.
And that's the other thing, because even someone was asking, I understand Leon's point of being upset because he has read the books as well and is invested in the lore and enjoys Dune, Frank Herbert's work. And no, Dune is nothing. The movies are nothing like the book.
Yeah.
There's tons of creative leeway they've taken and liberties that do not explain and that shy away from some of the harder things that should have been shown in the film that matter. Yeah. So I understand Leon not enjoying Dune. We enjoy Dune from the fact that we
separated it from just the same way I did with David Lynch, by the way. I like David Lynch's film. I also don't even consider it a Dune adaptation. It's like an aside. Yeah.
Yes. So they do not exist in the same universe. Like I love the books.
Yeah.
I enjoy the movies for what they are.
And so for me, and I agree with what VP says about separating the two,
Yes.
I do not believe that people should watch an adaptation thinking it's a substitute. I say, like, dude, if you like Harry Potter, bro, people who read the books, like, there's no substituting the books for what the films boil down for you. The problem becomes when you almost, in the same way that we have like things like linguistic drift, you end up getting like story drift. And so if the most popular adaptation of Dune is one that misses the central thesis of Dune, then it does make talking about Dune really fucking annoying, because you can tell people who've only, and it's not that they don't have a right, by the way. Like, you have a right to talk about films if you haven't read the books. I'm not saying you have to pass a test in order.
Yes.
But when you want to talk about the books, you have a lot of people who pretend to have read the books, but they've just seen the movies, and they miss the underlying narrative, which is, it's not about whether or not Paul is evil. It is the responsibility of the individual to not give yourself over to leaders. That's why the famous quote from Frank Herbert about, charismatic leaders should come with a warning they might be dangerous to your health. That evokes the idea of like the same type of things that we talk about with warning labels on any packaging. You still can use it if you want, but you need to be aware of the risks.
Mm-hmm.
Paul actively achieves for the Fremen what they wanted all along, but he did it because it suited his needs. And so you can have interests converge without either party truly being in unison.
Yes. And Draconis, I 100% agree with this. This is why we haven't read the book that's for Project Hail Mary yet, because we hadn't read it to begin with, and we were like, we're going to go and watch the film as it is and then read the book after. I completely agree. Read Dune after you've seen Dune Messiah. Yeah. Because you'll enjoy it so much more.
Like, I think I would have probably enjoyed The Three Body Problem on Netflix way more if I hadn't read the book. Like, yeah. Way more.
So, yeah. Katakakesh says, do you guys read Dune as critical of mysticism, and is the movie doing more of that than expected? I didn't read it that way, but I'm not sure if I'm a minority in my reading.
I love that in Dune there's really no I love the idea that it's a medieval story told so far in the future that the things that you would traditionally have like wizards and witches do, science does. And so it is insane science fiction that also could just as easily be amazing medieval fantasy. And so I kind of just read it as its own thing, but I read it usually based on like the themes. I think it's a very powerful allegory. And so I don't really usually worry too much about if it's a critique of mysticism. I think it's more a critique of human free will and the tendency of people. And by the way,
and how much we give away.
Yeah, we see it every day.
Yes.
You see with, like, it is a story of how it's not that the demigods are evil, it's how happy people are to rally around the demagogue
and not to have to make decisions on their own.
Yeah.
Humble Opulence says Denis Villeneuve made vignettes of Dune, not an adaptation of the book Dune. It's basically what Denis considers the greatest hits of Dune. Mm-hmm. And I agree with that.
It's like slices.
Yeah. He looked for the parts that he could manufacture to make the best film possible for a general audience. Yes. And they're good movies, but they're not adaptations of Dune. So yeah. Other than that, I think Dune Part 3, which I also despise, by the way, that's called Dune Part 3 because that's fucking stupid. But
by the way, does not tell you exactly. And again, I get it, but it tells you who they're worried won't get it, and it's people who.
It's the general audience.
Yeah, it's like it'll probably, and it is a very corporatized thing. It's Dune Part 3 because they're worried that people wouldn't know what the fuck Dune Messiah is.
Yeah, they would confuse it as if somehow it wasn't.
And I'm sure that they want that trilogy, which is why they're pushing the trilogy aspect so hard, right? That way, they're like, ooh, it's the final installment of the Denis Villeneuve Dune trilogy, which usually gets you a little bit of a bump at the box office.
Yeah. So I do not think it should be called Dune Part 3, but whatever.
Yeah. This is a great comment, by the way.
What?
Georgia Girl says, their connection to the planet went beyond what the Bene Gesserit manufactures as well, which
we didn't see
Yeah.
any of that. Yeah, that's one of the coolest parts of Dune for me.
yeah.
Yeah, and even she actually made a point earlier that the fact that they didn't have Paul show Chani his vision like he does in the books, so that she can actually understand the golden path and the reason he's doing everything, was a huge missed opportunity.
In being afraid that making Chani a subservient wife, in the fear that that would like not sit well with Hollywood, and trying to make her this renegade voice of like
The people?
yeah, it actually is a disservice to the overall scale of what Dune is about, because that's the whole point. A single bloodline doesn't really matter as much as you think it does. A single moment in time. And that's why the books start by saying, to understand Paul Atreides, you really have to understand that he is a man of his time. And like, because it's about how we fit into time. There's also an amazing quote, I'm pretty sure from Dune Messiah, that I'm almost certain won't be in
the book and in the film. Yes.
Because a lot of people like to get offended. But basically, in talking about the great men of history, they mention Hitler as somebody who achieved great things along like the
and they're
lines
clearly not
of
going to do that.
Alexander the Great or Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
And the point of that is to show you that with the historical distance, it's all just a statistic. It's all, if you are in the moment thinking that your time is so defining that it allows you to do things that your morality wouldn't allow, just know that every single leader, every single politician has used that very excuse of, oh yeah, it was wrong when everybody else did it, but because of what I'm going through this time, it's okay. But in the grand scheme of things, it's all nubbed down to just the historical facts.
Yes. So for anyone in the chat who hasn't read the books, I highly recommend it. Like, even if you don't want to read, get it on Audible. They're very good books.
Yeah.
Tony says, do you guys think it'll be the best or worst Dune film and or the most divisive? And then do you think there will be enough normies like myself thinking it'll be the best film yet? Okay, so multitude of questions. The latter I'll touch first. Do I think there will be enough normies like yourself thinking it's the best film yet? Yes, I do. Easily. And I think you probably will think it'll easily be the best film that comes out this year.
And they're stacking the deck, bringing back Jessica. Jessica should
definitely not be in there. Yeah,
but they brought her back because it'll work with normies, and because Rebecca Ferguson's a great actress. And yeah. By the way, that type of stuff in adaptations, I don't really mind.
And then, do I think it'll be the best or worst Dune film? It probably will be the best. I think part 2 was really good. Now,
I don't think Denny's going to drop the ball, and I think the addition of Robert Pattinson will
just heighten
just the way that they have to at least hit a couple of the Dune Messiah ending points, and because of the way Dune Messiah ends, I think it'll be incredibly memorable.
Yeah. So I think it'll easily be his best Dune film. I don't think it will be divisive except for people who know the book.
I think it'll be extremely powerful for people seeing the aftermath of the jihad. I think that will,
and especially because he said it'll be more of an action thing, because in the books they don't delve deep into the actual war.
Yeah, it looked like they had Paul on another planet fighting, and that's
not something. Yeah, that's not something they actually have in the books. Yeah. So yes, I think easily people will be excited that they'll see more of like the scale of the actual aftermath of what's going on. So yeah, I think it'll easily go up. Now, to Filmgore's point, he says Odyssey still comes out this year, so let's wait on that. No, I think Odyssey is going to be probably one of the biggest disappointments.
I think the Odyssey will look great. By the way, everything that we're criticizing Denis for skipping it, dude, take that to a 10
on
with
the Odyssey.
Christopher Nolan on the Odyssey.
Yeah.
So the way I will enjoy the Odyssey is I have to go in there and say, hey, it's essentially like another dude's take on the underlying story of the Odyssey, much like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou was. But he's already said he's not interested in dealing with gods. He's trying to ground it. It's fine.
And then the number of cast members that he's having that aren't even actors.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Travis Scott is in the Odyssey.
Yeah. So
will I enjoy it? Probably, because I tend to enjoy Christopher Nolan's work. Do I think it will in any way make me think, wow, now we've had a great adaptation. We've finally seen the adaptation brought to life. No, I don't think so. I think that they will get caught in that. And dude, Nolan has said this, by the way. This isn't me projecting. He said he's trying to ground it. So if you think that you're going to see actual gods, I think that'd be a huge shock, you know?
Yeah.
Then where it says Travis Scott, I think, is only a brief role in the film, but why? This is the
that
thing.
makes it even worse.
When the director starts bringing in actors who don't belong there or celebrities, like, look, maybe Travis Scott's a great actor. Maybe Travis Scott earned it, but it does sound an awful lot like when Jack Black and Lizzo were in The Mandalorian, where you're saying this is just a reminder that there is a club mentality, and when you get to a certain size of a certain scale, actors that don't belong in your film start making their way. As much as I love, what's it called? Wes Anderson. You see a little bit of that creep with Wes Anderson. Like,
yes,
I don't care for Tom Hanks in Wes Anderson films. Tom Hanks, despite so many things.
Many things.
Does he work in it? It's fine. But that's not traditionally the type of actor who you see in a Wes Anderson film. And it kind of just feels like Wes Anderson's gotten to a point where he's, by the way, I felt the same with Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson was fine in Asteroid City. I don't think of Scarlett Johansson as a Wes Anderson actress.
And She Not Sky, perfect point. Yeah. It's silly to try and ground some stories. It's a bad place to start with a story that has literal gods and monsters showing up. I think the Odyssey never needs to be grounded.
We've dealt so heavily with interpretations of the Odyssey that said, hey, let's get all that funny business out. And so it is a disappointment that Nolan has said, hey, we're going to, again, with all the abilities, all the cinematic abilities we have, now we're telling another grounded story.
Yeah. And yes, Eugene, I enjoyed it at home, but I do think you need a killer sound system. Yes. We saw Dune Part 2 in theaters. Completely different experience than watching it at home later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tara said it's all right to say a lot of our favorite directors may have lost their fire or desire to push back once they've gotten their accolades.
I think that's the biggest. That's probably like the saddest thing that I've noticed over the past couple of years. Directors that I really, really respected and loved. Dude, Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott. What's going on, dude? Like, he
stopped directing.
Yeah, well, he seems like he doesn't even enjoy the process anymore. It seems like he just wants
the money.
Yeah, or cut to respect, you know. And it's not just us, dude. Dude, Russell Crowe's like, bro, what are you doing? Gladiator 2? It feels like they still want to be relevant, but they don't want. Like General Clemens says, they're too lazy.
Yeah, really got lazy.
Yeah.
So
it's easier to make Gladiator 2 than come up with another great story, you know? Tara says Martin Scorsese is going to be doing TikTok soon. By the way, dude, with Scorsese, I know a lot of people like The Irishman. Dude, The Irishman, having the DH actors is
weird.
Terrible.
Yeah.
The only reason it passes is because it's so insane that eventually you just kind of let it wash over you. But you would have liked to see Scorsese find new people to work with. It kind of feels like everybody's retreating into safety bubbles, you know?
Yeah. Turner says, Katie and Andy, I'm going to give y'all a temporal pass, but watch how y'all double back and eat your word. I'm assuming you eat our words after the Odyssey comes out.
I would never have a problem. Dude, if I'm wrong, I will absolutely, like I've always.
We have no problem saying if something's good.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and by the way, I'm not saying that the film will be bad. I think I will be disappointed as somebody who wanted to see the Odyssey brought to life.
Yeah. And
like, by the way, this should read
Christopher
Nolan's Odyssey. If it's going to be as much of a deviation as I think it's going to be, I think that's when you throw the fucking director's name in the title. That way we realize it's his story of the Odyssey.
Yeah. And also, I feel like people sometimes get caught up. Could it look amazing? And the story
it will almost certainly look amazing.
Yeah. And the story still be shit.
Will the cinematography be great?
Yes.
Absolutely.
He did it all on IMAX cameras. Like, yeah. I think Nolan has never defaulted with it's going to look great.
I'm a little bit filmed. I don't think anybody's thinking that this is going to be.
I'm concerned about the storyline and the fact that it's supposed to be grounded. And some of the actors he got don't make any sense.
But I think that if you're going to sit there, if we're going to criticize Dune for essentially having the director pick and choose
What parts of the story he wants to have.
I think that you got to like be consistent.
Yeah.
Just like I was with like when the last Dune film came out, I said I really, really like the film. I think as a film, it's like a
Top
high
tier.
9, out of 10 film. But as a Dune adaptation, it was like a 6,
So yeah. And same thing with even Dune. I think Dune's gonna look phenomenal. I think the story's gonna piss me off.
I think
like
30 minutes into Dune, I'm going to have to not be actively thinking about the story that could have been.
Yeah.
And I think if I can do that, I think a lot of people who have read the books will be able to say, oh, this is a good film. And I'm already going in, like, I hope that it's come across. I've already given an example of why, even if they don't reconcile Chani and Paul, how it could still work without losing the underlying importance of Chani to the story, which is the motivation for Paul to bring her back as a Gola, right?
Yep.
But there's only so many things that we can sit there and, give the benefit of the doubt before, like, they're making their own thing, and I'm kind of,
Even this. Foolish. It already looks like they're planning to have Chani try and kill Paul. That would be the dumbest shit ever.
I don't even care. If they have her try and kill Paul and that's the way that they come back together and he
Oh my
overpowers
gosh.
her
And that's how they get back.
No, and then
Moving on.
They fight it out and he explains the plan and she comes to terms, then okay.
I'm gonna
if you have to have
so
her
hard.
be free-willed, I don't mind if they characterize Chani as more free-willed than she because, by the way, this is what we said from day one, she's not a major part of the books. And so it was always weird to have Zendaya. But people wanted to be like, no, Chani's a huge part of the book. No, she's not. She's barely developed.
Terry says we're gonna measure Andy's blood pressure in real time when he watches Dune. Bro, we're gonna get one of those Fitbit watches. Yep.
Yeah.
Do it.
We're gonna get the one with the Fitbits that Darcel was talking about, though.
Turner says Nolan isn't known for writing bad stories. Maybe his visuals aren't always up to par with today's standards of green screen usage. Homie, his visuals are never an issue.
I think that it's almost the complete reverse. I think
What
Nolan's
are you talking about?
strongest thing is his
Visuals.
cinematography and visuals.
Yeah. No one has
Even
ever
Tenet,
complained about his visuals.
The criticism of Tenet was
His sound.
the dialogue.
Yeah.
The sound.
Yes.
And I like Tenet.
And people have issues with some of his decisions with, science and his choices with science. No one has ever criticized his visuals. They're fucking phenomenal.
Nolan does whatever he wants, and it works because he's that good of a director that he can get away with it.
Yes.
He's that great of a visual storyteller. But yeah, like there are a lot of people who don't like the love angle in Interstellar. I like it. I love Interstellar. Like it's... And is it possible that he takes the Odyssey in a direction that I love as a Christopher Nolan film? 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very possible. But he's already telegraphed that it won't be the way you're expecting the Odyssey to go.
Which is the clear concern.
It sounds like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's going to do what The Rock did with their Hercules film, where every single one of the the feats of Hercules was explained on how they did it through group efforts and stuff, which is an interesting take, but it is not the same as seeing Hercules go and defeat the lion.
Yeah. We love Nolan's films,
This
but
is one of those
pretending things aren't real is not what we do here. We've seen the trailer.
I feel like we've
seen the
defended
casting.
Nolan maybe more than any other channel, especially when we've been with like our friends on like movie nights and stuff, like unashamedly defended Nolan.
But we have eyes, and the Odyssey does not look good. Like
it's not that it's you keep seeing.
There's concerns. Okay. God. Yeah.
It's not that it doesn't look good. There's concerns.
We did a
about
whole
the
Nolan
story
watch
of the
party.
Odyssey and how much that would give way to Nolan's creative vision. Yeah.
Exactly. Moving on, because the last thing touch before we get out of here. All right. So, leaked audio reveals Rebel Wilson's PR team plotted to smear movie producer as sex trafficker. And this isn't the first time. Shocking, right?
So we'll kind of speed run through this. I see even people that, don't usually talk about this stuff have been talking about this. It's the same PR team as Justin Baldoni. And pull up the our research. You don't put it on screen though, because it's messy.
It's messy.
I don't want people to see my work. So the big takeaway here is like, one, again, feeling very vindicated. We did our recent video about the bride and how causes and hashtags are mobilized and manufactured in this weird arms race in Hollywood post Weinstein. And I think most people are like, damn, that makes a lot of sense. A couple people are like, I don't know, y'all sound like you're cynical, like film students or something like that.
Well, no, dude, we've seen the behind the scenes that Warner Brothers had entire teams of people creating comments on and reacting to posts because they were trying to like up the conversations about different films. There was even a whole campaign of people they paid to try and hype up Wuthering Heights, which random.
We know this. Dude.
Yeah.
This is the most annoying thing, and kind of why I have no time anymore for anybody who says like source on these things, or
they would
debunked.
Or
If
they
it's
would
like,
never do that.
Yeah. Or y'all are taking things
And turn it. Yes, the gun regime.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
it's all manufactured, by the way. It's not just one specific studio.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's specific actors and heads of studios who are doing it. The Warner Brothers head of studio was seen actually doing some of it on his own phone.
Yeah. By the way, thank you so much to Draconis for the 5-hole My DualShock memberships. You absolute legend.
Thank you.
Let's play this and we'll come back to this topic. Thank you. You are too kind. I want to play one we haven't played in a while. Here we go.
Get back, come on. Let's go in the
Shit, we are the shit. We are the. You're alive.
Wait, come on, get back my friend now.
Thank you so much, Draconis. Yeah, dude. If you're watching this channel, if you're part of this community, you're surely an adult. I know that
you're surely an
This
adult.
is not for children. We mark not to send this to people like that are children. So everybody watching is old enough to understand that corporate interest supersede almost everything else, and that this is a business. And so if we're having to explain to people the business interests of borderline evil men, then I don't know what we're doing here. But there is an all-out arms wrestle for who's going to dictate the path of Hollywood moving forward. And this stuff with Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and now Rebel Wilson shows that they have the corporate capture of the public sensitivity to sex crimes is insane. It is cynical. It's absolutely indicative of, I mean, dude, dare I say Goebbels-esque, you know, like they that's what they're doing though. They've taken things that people know are wrong and they've weaponized them. So one of the things that came out was Rebel Wilson's team had attempted to, like you said, smear
campaign.
There's leaked text and audio of them saying like, not only should we be fucking like smearing the producer or whatever, but we need to make it big because it can't just be that they're mean, because that's run their course. They understand that all these stories that we've had, and it's not that they're not, by the way, a lot of these people are terrible people, but it's the fact that they're aware that through social media, the audience, the social media crowd will respond poorly to rumors of so-and-so was a dick on set, so-and-so was passive aggressive. And it really tells you that the shrewdness with which they've manipulated the media.
Yeah. And yes, C. Stein, he says, so apparently James Gunn's room full of internet monkeys and Superman was about the fans, but Warner Brothers PR bots themselves.
Yeah.
Kind of ironic.
It was the PR teams.
Yeah.
So, and this is one of the craziest things. We've talked about bots. We've caught bots many, many times. We've caught bots. We did a whole video last year about catching bots, and still some people wanted to be like, oh, I don't think that was the case. One of the actual tools of this media group, this agency group that works for Rebel Wilson and Justin Baldoni, is an active astroturfing campaign. And pull it up. I think it's this one here. Yes. They were allegedly, but this is being leaked. It's not allegedly. Yeah. They dedicated money and resources to creating the illusion of an organic grassroots backlash against Lively. This involved using social media threads, influencers, and bot accounts to amplify negative stories about her
Diva behavior.
and inconsistencies to marketing of the film. And we know this. All last year, I think you would say there was a huge shift in organic responses to trailers, to movies, to even YouTube,
Yeah.
to seeing people that clearly are not people. They're clearly bots that would find any negative thing said about, especially Warner Brothers, to try and make sure that their merger, their sale went through at the best possible value for the company. And so any criticism of the studio, any criticism of the DCU was met with just a insane level of bot activity. The crazy thing is none of that shit led to a substantial return. Like, you know, the Superman trailer was the most watched trailer in history, but it wasn't the biggest box office last year. Not even close. You saw this with many other projects last year where there was just clear bot involvement.
Dude, no, that's the thing. Wuthering Heights had bot involvement,
Yeah.
trying to hype up the movie, making it seem as if it was more popular than it actually was, to try and get people to go to watch it in theaters. We saw that there was tons of bot activity where there was responses to negative posts or negative reviews where people would pile on and say the opposite. That was manufactured by the studios.
I think the measure of a human being's integrity is if they can recognize the behavior, even if it's something that they want to defend. And so I think that that's a big reason why there was such a loss of respect for movie commentators last year was, and it wasn't like, this is the thing. We bring up like James Gunn's Superman and what's going on at Warner Brothers because it's just the most easy example, because all that stuff was so easy to
So
decipher
obvious.
because they were clearly gearing up for a sale, very loudly gearing up for a sale, but yet people didn't want to believe it. And so they carried water for the studio.
And
But
yes,
it's not
Georgie,
just them.
yeah,
It's
positive
all,
bots are a thing too.
and positive bots are a thing too. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing of every time you hear about review bombing, dude, look at the enormous number of reviews on Rotten Tomatoes where you click on it, 5-star review. Every single thing that person's ever reviewed for the studio has been 5 stars. It makes no sense. We know it makes no sense, yet people will hide behind the thinnest, rejection of belief to justify defending the things that they want to defend.
Yeah. Joe Kenobi said those damn positive bots for high guard
Mhm.
game.
By the way, I think we need to talk about this as a cultural thing. It's not even just, movies. Like, it's absolutely in games. It's absolutely in politics. It's in every single sphere of our lives. The people that are paid to manufacture the narrative recognize where we are. We're on social media. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitter. And that's where it makes the most sense to fake organic engagement. Like, the whole idea of the grassroots thing has taken by the way, isn't it funny that they will villainize the idea of populism, yet they will actively try and create populism in every
art.
other name?
Yeah. And yeah, CD9, the Rings of Power stands were the most telling that studios use bots and paid influencers.
Yeah.
Facts, yes.
Dude, it's this very ignorant attempt to be like, oh, well, they're not getting paid. Bro, that's the sad thing. There are a lot of people who carry water for the studios, carry water for political groups, carry water for game communities that aren't being paid. Dude, they'll sell themselves out for free. That's the thing. Like, your worst crime is that you sold yourself for nothing. There are people who they're so desperate to be part of something that they will align their opinions to a narrative because they think that they'll find community there. And that's, I think, speaks to the sad nature, the disconnect that we have now, where people don't know how to connect. And so they'll say the most ignorant bullshit. They know, I hope they know on some level isn't true, but it doesn't matter, because it's better to not be alone than to have integrity and be, dude, absolutely certain. Yeah. I don't want to call out any specific people because I watch all those people, but dude, you can tell when someone comes up to the line of where their integrity ends. I hope that if that ever happens here, you guys will call us out.
Yes.
But I know,
which is also why we don't sit here and entertain the ideas of wait till it comes out. No.
Yeah. That by the way, we will be making a video on just like waste of space arguments and film criticism. And the wait till it comes out, like literally, like
Is
I never wanna
manufactured by
shut-
studios.
I never want to shut down debate, but if I ever see somebody say, let's wait till it comes out, I don't respect you as a human being. I don't, because you're an idiot. Like, there's zero other place in life. You wouldn't buy a car and say, well, wait till I've signed the paperwork. I don't want to go for a test drive. I don't want to make up any opinions until I'm financially invested. What the fuck? You don't go to university without.
It's 100
yeah.
corporate marketing, by
It's
the way.
100% corporate marketing. Anybody who regurgitates that shit is at best an idiot. And if you
And
want
at
to,
worst, malicious.
maliciously carrying water for a studio. We all want to do that, by the way. Like, that's how you sell snake oil. Here, buy the bottle and see if it helps, you know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't you guys just have fun and focus on fun? Fun, fun, funny, fun, fun. Yeah.
Oh, dude, the
Yeah,
active
fun.
Dude, if I see somebody who says, oh, I like it because I could shut my brain off, it's like, cool.
Because I had
But you-
fun watching it.
But you realize now you've removed your right, your ability to have any conversation about the quality. If the thing that allows you to enjoy it is that you didn't think it through, don't assume that you have the right to criticize others who think more than you.
Now,
you know?
you're perfectly welcome to like bad things. Because
Yeah, we
we
like bad shit.
like bad shit too.
Dude,
You guys, okay?
some of my favorite films are god awful, but you'll never hear me say that they're good.
Yeah.
You know, that's integrity. Again, I'm not only am I the most humble man, I'm the most I have the most integrity.
Yeah.
By the way,
We have no problem accepting some of the shit we watch is trash.
trash. Bro,
But-
yeah.
yeah.
By the way, I hope everybody's noticed that we've dialed down the sarcasm in our videos because
People don't get
literally
it.
people don't get it.
Because people don't get it.
The one of the other dumbest things I've ever fucking heard is one of the comments, somebody said, wow, a 15-minute video on a 2-minute trailer. Dude, isn't that hilarious that some people are like, we all know us big brains, we all know that
Smooth brain.
1 minute of things I watch equals 1 minute of time
discussion.
talking about it. That's how time works. If you were looking at anything more than that, then you're making shit up. I think it's hilarious.
How dare you think
I do
deeper?
think it's hilarious though, because the idea of like, you know, a picture is
It's-
better than 1,000
a
words.
picture's worth a
is
thousand words.
1,000 words.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's what 24 frames
At
per.
least.
I think it's more in like
Yeah.
but like there's like at least 24 frames. So you're talking about 24,000 pictures in 1 second of film. If anything, I think most video essays should be much longer. But I love the idea that somebody who doesn't think a lot, their criticism to someone who's deciphering things is you think outside of my capabilities, therefore
You're wrong.
this is absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
But
Well,
then they'll
also
go
lo-
watch like a slop channel
Yeah.
that does Easter eggs where they point out all the corporate, like, oh, in the newest Marvel's trailer, did you see these 10 Easter eggs that mean that the film's going to be good? That's totally fine if that's 30 minutes. But if somebody's discussing ideas, they're like, we all know ideas aren't real. We know that thinking is a construct that was made up to make people who can't feel bad. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. If you weren't aware. Oh my gosh.
This is some of these comments.
Yeah, Dakota says they've clearly never been to that planet from Interstellar and experienced time dilation.
Yeah.
I don't think that's well, emergency awesome.
My favorite is there are a lot of channels like that where it's the same as Scoopers. If you
Ideas are the biggest Easter eggs of all, Andy.
Yeah.
Continue, sorry.
No, like I think that there's enough evidence now that you can see the channels that have, and it's not channels, but like the voices in the film space, things like BuzzFeed, like not BuzzFeed, sorry, Screen Rant, Collider,
Yeah.
that have the most latitude are the ones that they're full of shit. They're wrong almost constantly, but they constantly align with the companies making more money.
Yeah. And last but not least, what's up, Grave? Says that's the kind of person who doesn't have an internal monologue.
It's like, how dare you visualize the apple rotating in your brain? When someone says apple, I don't know what that is until it's placed before.
Not even that. I love how people want to make comments on things, but then don't have the attention span to watch the entire video where we answer probably the question that they said. But yeah, you know,
I like to talk to people who are like, unless I'm holding the apple, I don't know what the fuck. Like, I gotta get my hands on that thing.
hands on that bad boy.
I'm a tactile learner, and so anything that I'm talking about, I gotta have my own two fucking hands. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Georgia girl. She said, I saw no sarcasm in your videos, and I'm a recent fan, but I love these live streams. Love how real you guys are.
By the way, these live streams are the only thing that proves that we are real, because every single video, there's just a barrage of people being like, you guys are AI.
Yeah. See, Stein said at this point, let's just admit it. Idiocracy is more of a prophetic documentary and not a comedy these days. Yes.
I think that the most haunting meme I've seen recently is the Yeti smoking a cigarette saying, I'm far too dumb to be this much smarter than so many people. Yeah.
Yes. It's the greatest meme of all.
Yeah.
So yeah. They are real. Not AI.
That's exactly what AI is. The funniest is people who are in on the jokes, because there'll be people who will make jokes about Katie's eye and stuff.
My glass eye, yeah.
And other people be like, fucking knew it. Like
knew it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Psy up. Jiro Konami says, wait, you guys are real and we are AI? What a plot twist. Time to change our nicknames.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, okay. Love you guys. This has been amazing. So
Tony, John is not doing Brand versus Man today.
No, not today. He said he's going out of town.
Yeah. Otherwise we'd be there right now.
Yep. So yes, appreciate you greatly. We will see you later on next week, because this is the last stream of the week, because we are off to MegaCon. Yes. And I keep calling it Comic-Con, but it's the same thing.
It's gonna be a crazy couple weeks because there's some big surprises coming up. Terrace says more like PsyOp. Bro, that would make a phenomenal shirt.
PsyOp. Yeah.
Bro, dude, we gotta find what is it should just be fucking like something with the energy of Ben Affleck smoking, looking depressed, and just says PsyOp.
PsyOp, that's dope. I like that.
The PsyOps are so bad that you're not even interested in them.
No one cares anymore. No one cares. Okay. But yes, if you haven't already, join the Discord, because we'll post pictures and stuff in the Discord of the fun stuff that we're doing at MegaCon and people that we meet. And yeah, and to continue connecting and interacting with you guys, since we will not have streams. But yeah. Ben Affleck, but make it an AI bot.
1,000.
Do it.
We got to figure that out. Oh,
yeah,
that would be amazing. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you greatly. If you haven't already, watched our most recent video on The Bride and the state of the industry and what it all means for feminist films. And yeah,
the weaponization of social causes.
Yeah, pretty much everything that's really going on. And yeah, appreciate you greatly. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Catch you Monday.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.